We are live. This is the Reseller Wake Up, episode 169, and it's Friday, guys. And today we've got a very special guest, Jason T. Smith. He's the head lifeguard over at the Thrifting Board. It's a new Facebook group. If you're not a member over there, definitely go check it out. But he's just getting back from the eBay's We Are 20 event, and that was in California, right?
Yep, San Jose.
San Jose, yep. And I guess you got a ton of information on this new seller update that's coming out for eBay, and I mean, I'm really excited about it. Just reading all the changes, it seems like they're going to be doing a lot of really interesting stuff that they're kind of, you're not going to be able to talk crap about how eBay treats their sellers anymore if
exactly.
a lot of stuff gets implemented. So, what did, like, just some of the basics right off the top. What is some of the stuff that, I mean, let's cover them first, you know, just what they're going to be changing and some of the things that they're going to be doing. What are some of the things that stuck out to you the most?
There's three main areas. There's lots of stuff like with any fall or spring update, but the three main areas are returns, what's called the seller hub, and the new defect process where the old defects like communication and actually all of them are gone, and there's only now 2 defects that will count towards your metrics on if you're a good seller or not. And it boiled down to what we were talking about right before we went live is they listen to the sellers. And I do grow tired of people who are on the platform that whine and complain about eBay having the buyers back. So if they don't have their back, here's what was happening. Buyers were leaving in droves over this long period, and eBay had to figure out a way to get them back. And so, it was basically saying, "Hey, we're sorry, come on back, and we'll protect you." But in the process, they did, I think, lose sight of the sellers a little bit. But I was never mad at them. But what they've done to fix it, it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe they overstepped a little bit, but not enough to. I just had to make a couple of small changes, and I was back in their good graces. I mean, I think I lost top-rated seller for the first month or two that it came out, and then I got it right back, and I haven't had any problem maintaining it since then. I just do what I always do, and I mean, I've never really had a big issue with eBay. There have been a couple of times where I've got my horror stories too, just like everybody does. Like a customer that's just, why are you taking their side? But I mean, that's gonna happen in any platform. You can't let just those isolated incidents like stop you from being a seller, unless you just don't want to be a seller. You got to deal with that stuff every once in a while. But I really like the new seller updates. I mean, I've got a recent experience. I had a customer that called eBay, and he got a hold of me. He's like, "Hey, I need a partial refund. This item wasn't as described, blah, blah, blah." And everything that he said that was wrong with it was in my listing, like, this is what's wrong with it.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, well, I called eBay, and it wasn't like sorry that you had a problem, and we'll see what we can do. It was like, we got your back. Don't worry about this guy. If he opens up a return, we're going to stop it. If he opens up, or if he leaves you a negative or a neutral feedback, we're going to cancel it. If he tries to get a refund, we got your back. Don't sweat it. Don't even worry about it. Just tell him that, basically the item was as described, and he's stuck with it.
That's nice because a lot of times you hear people say, like, "Oh, well, the rep told me to suck it up." That's part of business.
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, you have good metrics. It'll be okay. That defect won't affect you."
Yeah. That's what surprised me so much about the way and it wasn't just what they were saying, it was how he said it. It was like, don't worry. Like, he was really trying to instill that confidence, so I definitely appreciated that a lot. But
well, I also, before we got to even get to the new changes, I also appreciated that they realized that they should put part of their budget to, if I sell something that's like $20-25 and I did a good job, but the buyer's, kind of like, this kind of sucks. They have that budget to just say, all right, I'll let them keep the product and we'll refund their money, but we won't take it from you. So, on little things, they're very good at making sure both sides are just kind of happy and move on with life. They realize too it takes a lot more time and effort if we have to, as the seller, have to keep calling back and taking up customer service's time. They're like, for $20, we'll just make the problem go away for both sides.
Yeah, I've had that happen as well. Like I've had a couple of items that tracking said that it was delivered, the USPS, and the customer filed a complaint, and eBay just refunded both of us. I mean, they refunded me for the item, and they refunded the customer. So I know firsthand that they do that kind of thing, and it's another thing that I mean, I always appreciate it when it happens. Sometimes I'm a little surprised about how above and beyond they go, but at least I feel like that, and that's why it surprises me so much when I mean, I spend a lot of time on Facebook. I'm in all the groups. I see all the posts, and sometimes I just want to be like, why? What are you complaining about? But so
and guess what? And let me tell you though, if you've never had that experience, don't assume it just happens with every transaction.
right.
But the customer service is there to weigh the whole situation. But the key, and people miss this all the time. And I've been preaching this till I'm blue in the face. If you call customer service without emotion and with the facts, a lot of times what you need done gets done. But when you call and start crying and slamming your fist on the table and yelling, because let me tell you, the person who answers the phone, they didn't do you any harm. They're going to try and fix it. But human nature is, if they're getting yelled at, they're not going to be all that helpful.
Right.
They'll do the bare minimum.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing how you're absolutely right. I mean, before I started even doing eBay, I was in sales for 10 years, so I learned all about customer service, and that it's two-sided. I mean, you got to deal with. I mean, for me, I was a salesman doing outside sales. I had to deal with my own company as much as I had to deal with my customers. So, I guess I pulled a lot of that away from there, and it made it kind of easy for me and made it easy to understand how all that works. But I mean, you get a lot of people that really don't have that kind of experience that get into this thing, and then it's like they're, do it their way, I guess. And but as far as the new updates that are coming, I mean, it's not like they're putting everything in the seller's hands. You're still going to have to do the right things. You're still going to have to be a good seller, and I mean, it's not like they're just going to take your side on everything. And like you said, they're good side. Sometimes they take the customer side. Sometimes they take your side. There's one transaction that made me quit selling on eBay for like a year because it was so egregious in my eyes. And then I started thinking about it. It's like, it wasn't that bad. But
yeah, it's also when you step back, and because when the moment happens, you're like, damn it, whether it was your fault, because I had a mistake this week that was the fault from my end. I had a friend ship it for me for a day, and she shipped the wrong product, so I just had to figure out how to fix it. But then there's that time when the buyer's just way off base, which does not happen often, and you get so like in the moment. But if you wait for a sec and then deal, it's it truly will be a lot easier to take care of it.
Right. So,
but the new standard, it's quite simple, and I've been saying this quite vocally since I found out. If you can't follow these two things, you suck. Get off the platform. I don't want to share space with you in my mall. That's what the bottom line is. So there's two real standards or defects. Don't cancel your order. So have what you say you have and ship it. And if your customer does have a problem, figure out a resolution that eBay doesn't have to step in. If you can do those two things, and you should be able to, then you're good. That's it. That is the only metrics. And then the third metric is the shipping, and that just keeps you qualified for Top Rated Seller Plus. So if you ship within your stated handling time, I think for Top Rated Seller Plus, it's got to be within 24 hours, or 1 business day, excuse me. It's not 24 hours, 1 business day. But the cool thing is now, if you are lucky enough to have an acceptance scan, so if you have pickups like I do, and your guy scans on the porch, the second the acceptance scan is picked up, you're good. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't got to wait for anything else. Now, if you don't get an acceptance scan, they will take a scan along the way, or a delivery scan. And if it falls within the allotted time frame for shipping, then you're good. If that doesn't happen, and that's rare, but it happens, they will actually ask the customer, did Jason ship the item when he said he was going to, did it arrive by the date that, they give you based on USPS standards? And they said the customers because they've been running these trials. And so some people had this, and they said the customers who answered that question answered it accurately, like 90% of the time or 92% of the time, and the other like 8 or 10% guessed, and of that percentage, like 85% just guessed yes without even making sure. So there's a very small chance you could get the wrong answer, but not likely.
Right.
Because it's, for the most part, people complain, but the post office pretty much does their job. It picks the stuff up, it gets it there. And I know there's horror stories. I know some people live in a little town where they hate their postman who won't come pick up. I get it. I just happen to luck out. I live in a major metropolitan city. I got a great pickup system. They pick up every day. They scan on the porch. Once they scan, I'm on to my next thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky myself. I mean, I don't usually do the local pickup, and I mean, in my neighborhood, the postman would hate me because he gets out of his truck and he walks blocks, and he'll sit there and do like a block at a time, and it would just be a pain for him. So I'd definitely try and get it. I try and drop the stuff off myself, but I mean, you got to pay attention. I don't know if you like. I've got one post office that I drop off, and it's not a post office. It's like a UPS store or something, but it's really close to my house. It's super convenient for me, so I do use it sometimes. However, they don't scan the stuff, and supposedly it gets scanned within 24 hours, so definitely not going to be using them once this changes get implemented. But for the most part, I just go to the post office and drop it off, and they scan it right there as they go. But I mean, it's important enough, I feel like, that it's worth going that little extra thing. But
and look, and the bottom line is, because this is one of the parts that people still have a complaint about. Look, the bottom line is the customer wants their shit. That's it, man. And any place else you order have really figured it out. Now, of course, we don't have the luxuries of being a major retailer like a Walmart or a Target who can even negotiate better deals, but you still have to get your customer the product that they want it in the time frame that they want it. My friend shipped out the wrong item to a customer. They needed it for last night. I discovered this on Monday. Even though it was too late for overnighting, I overnighted it Monday night, and I dropped it off. I actually drove to the main post office. It went out Tuesday morning, and I got there on Wednesday morning. So I did what I had to do to make my customer whole, and that's the bottom line. If you can't keep your customers happy, they won't come back. And if you can't do that, I don't want you in my mall. Get out.
Right.
I'll replace you with an Auntie Anne's pretzels, all right? Get out.
Now, one thing to keep in mind about the shipping time, the 24 hours, it's one business day, basically. So holidays don't count, Saturday and Sunday doesn't count. Basically, if you make a sale on Friday at 3 o'clock, and it's Labor Day weekend, then as long as you get it scanned in by Tuesday at 3 o'clock, then you're in the clear. And I mean, I think over the weekend they don't.
No, you're wrong. It's not Tuesday by 3 o'clock. It's Tuesday by midnight. It's the end of the next business day.
Oh, it is at the end of the next.
So if you bought something at 12:01 a.m. on Monday, so essentially Sunday night, you have till 11:59 Tuesday night. So you almost have 48 hours. It's by midnight of the next business day.
Okay, thanks.
So that's where people think it's 24 hours. No, it's one whole business day at the end of the next one, whatever it may be. So,
okay.
So yeah, I mean, there is, you got time to do it. It's not like they're like, you got 3 minutes, do it.
Right. And that just a little tip. I've done this before in the past where I couldn't make it to my post office in time before they closed. If you go to a larger post office, if you're lucky enough to have a larger post office, and you knock on the back door, sometimes there's somebody in there that'll just take the stuff. I mean, I've gone in as late as 7 o'clock at night with a carload of packages like, hey, I didn't have time. I didn't make it in time. Can you guys take these? And they just grab them and start scanning them right there. So.
And I noticed I was at the main post office 2 nights ago to drop this package off, and the main post office in Vegas is right across from the airport, and it's huge, and they have the big orange wheelie bins that people just drop off stuff all day. Well, I guess it got out of control because when I walked in, there was a note, you have to now go around to this other street on the backside, and there is major package drop-off, and that means 10 or more. So no more just waltzing in the front door and dropping all your crap. So I don't normally need that, but it was good to know that in case I have to send a wife or an assistant down to drop some stuff off one day.
I got a question about shipping times.
Yeah.
I know eBay was penalizing you for anything longer than a 1-day shipping time.
Whoa, 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 whoa. They weren't penalizing you. They were giving you an incentive to have a 1-day shipping time. Totally different, but go ahead.
Okay, well, after 9 years of the incentive, it felt like a penalty. On this last update, I was reading somewheres in the fine print, somewheres deep in eBay, that they suggest you set your handling time to something that's going to be workable for you. For example, I live in a very rural area. It's 2 days handling, even if I drop it off this morning. Because it goes from here and then it goes to a sort facility and then out. So it adds a day of time.
But that isn't right. It's when you print the label and they accept it. So if you drop it off, it doesn't count tomorrow. As long as they do an acceptance scan, you're done. That's it. Okay. You're done.
Because what I was running into was I set it as priority mail, and because of the extra day where it wasn't getting there in 2 days, I had a whole lot of cases opening saying, you know, where's my item? So to solve that, I went to a 2-day handling time, and I totally eliminated all those issues and actually made my customers happier, so it was easier for me to do that. Do you see any problems with doing that in the future?
Oh, no, but you know, the new update is if you get an acceptance scan within your time frame, then that's over. It's done. The shipping metric is over. Even if the USPS gets there late, because you have the acceptance scan in your time frame, that's it. Okay. Of course, you still want to make your customer happy. You still take care of them, but as far as your eBay metrics are concerned, you're good to go.
Yeah, so basically, as long as you get that acceptance scan, you've done your part. The only time that the amount of time it takes for the customer to receive the item matters is if you get if you drop it off basically outside of your time frame. So I mean, you can actually still be okay being late, like dropping it off outside of your handling time, right? As long as it gets there by the time that the post office would say that it needs to be there. Is that correct? Because I mean, I've had packages that were supposed to take 3 to 5 days get there in 2 days. Or 1 day, even if it's like in Colorado, you know. I mean, sometimes it gets there pretty quick, and I mean, as long as it gets there by the date stated, then you're okay. Is that correct, or does it need to have that acceptance scan no matter what?
It doesn't need it. It helps. So here's I'm reading my literature they gave me to talk about. Basically, the on-time shipping, they say it holds you accountable for what you can truly control, delivering your item to the carrier within your stated handling time. So if you don't get an acceptance scan, you're still going to have to hopefully make sure it gets there on time, blah, blah, blah. But if you get that acceptance scan, that's it, you're done. So if you can change something in your day to make sure you get an acceptance scan, and look, I get it, and eBay gets it. Some rural areas are a pain in the ass. Some truly inner-city areas are a pain in the ass because all the mailmen are on foot. And, you know, some mailmen are just pains in the asses, so they get that. But, you know, if you happen to be lucky enough to live or have a mailman that can do it and will do it, then you don't got to worry about it. If you don't, you're still going to have to deal and worry about it a little bit, but it makes it easier for those who can get the acceptance scan.
Got it. What's going on, Chad? How you doing this morning?
Good morning, good morning. Did you get up nice and early?
Yeah, oh, I don't want to hear it, buddy. Get up nice and early. Screw you.
Oh yeah, you're on this coast, man. It's like, is the sun even up there yet?
Nope, I'm still waiting for it to come up over the mountain. So no sun here as of yet.
Yeah, it's nice and bright over here already, but it's sunny Colorado. I don't know. When I made the morning show, I had to do it. Started at a time where I could get like Chad to come on, and if it starts at noon his time, then that's just never going to happen. So I had to do it early. It's all his fault. Blame him.
Well, dude, this is my yard sale time right now, so
right on. So I mean, the shipping is probably the thing that everybody's most concerned about with the new seller update, I think. But I mean, we pretty much hashed it out. I mean, that's it, right? I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Just get your stuff to the post office and do it fast.
Yeah.
And you'll be fine. You know, I mean, if you have a 1-day handling time, then make sure you get it there in a day. And if you have a 3-day handling time, then you don't get that incentive that they give you the 20% off or whatever. I mean, that's been, I don't know, for me that was the easiest part. I always dread like getting a message now because it's like, oh god, am I in trouble? What's this guy? You ever do that? You like open your messages and you see like 2 new messages, like what's this guy want? Oh crap. Oh, click. Oh, okay.
What I've seen, mostly what people are more concerned about is the 30-day return policy, and it's like, look, you have to do it anyway, so I don't.
And here's what I don't get about the complaints and the concerns. Like, look, my prime example is always I bought a Cleveland Indians T-shirt from MLBShop.com. The return policy is 365 days. When I saw that, I was like, holy cow! Now I got the shirt, it fit, I need to return it, but I like the fact that they're like, you know what? We'll give you a year, return it. That's nuts. Customers just want that feel good that if they got an issue, they got 30 days. And look, I opted into the 90 days for the holidays last Christmas. Here's how many returns I got. 0.
So did I. I mean, it was not a big deal. And I mean, it's, you know, when it comes to handling or returns, like the amount of time, I feel like the longer that you go with your return policy, maybe the better it is, because if somebody sees that 90-day return policy, then they're like, oh, well, I can just return it, and then they forget about it.
Oh, yeah.
They don't even return it.
I got so much crap laying around my house that I meant to return that I never got to.
Right.
But, you know, it's not a big deal. You don't get that many returns. And I know there are some categories that have a higher rate than others. But you know what? I sell used clothing, both men and women. I sell bras. And I measure my stuff accurately. I take good pictures. And I get rarely any returns. Right. And, you know, people spend too much energy and time on what if, could happen. Look, every day someone gets killed by a bus. Is today my day? I hope not. But if it is, it is. If that bus is coming, I ain't stopping it. But am I going to waste 1 second thinking, is this bus going to kill me today? Nope.
Exactly. That's been that's pretty much philosophy in life in general. But, I mean, when it comes to this business, I see so much of that. Just people. It seems like that's kind of the biggest issue that people kind of have. They're just worried about this or that. They don't have a good enough camera. They don't have a good enough lighting setup, so their pictures aren't good enough. They aren't sure how to do this or that, and you know, nothing you can do was gonna convince those people that, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Just
absolutely. You're right. It's people just want to take their energy and sit and whine and complain and what if this and what if that and I'm like, hey, how about just shut up and sell more?
Right. Exactly. Go ahead, Chad.
Well, the only issue I have is with eBay and the return policy is, don't tell me I can have a 14-day no hassle-free return policy and then somebody have an item for 30 days and then at day 31 or 30 say, oh, this item broke, I want my money back. I mean, I don't have a problem. It's just eBay.
And Chad's wonderful connections again.
Yeah, Chad. I promise I'm not like doing anything to Chad there. He's literally freezing because his internet sucks.
Yeah,
like,
you gotta
get my internet's good. I don't know why I've been having an issue. Maybe I need to do a.
Chad's bad mouthing eBay. I gotta start making his connection dodgy now.
Come on, Chad.
You know I love eBay, but I don't understand. You know how can give me a policy instead of just and then when somebody is like blatantly way beyond the policy, don't give me an opportunity of no return, 14-day, 30-day, 90-day, and then not have you go buy it.
Right. I mean, it just depends. I mean, there are better educated buyers out there. They know exactly what how eBay's going to react to different things. And, I mean, eBay's got their little things in place that it makes it so that they can make everybody feel protected. I mean, I've personally never had an issue. I mean, is this something that happens a lot with you? Or, I mean, I know you've got some stories for sure.
Yeah, I mean, just this recently, it was a sprinkler system control panel, brand new in the box, and you know, it sold, and then a month later, I have 14-day hassle-free returns. A month later, you know, they said that to come back, they want to return it because it doesn't work right. But you could tell it had been mounted to their house for a month. Maybe they got struck by lightning or something. But you know, and it's just, you know, I mean, I like to, you know, if I have a 14-day money-back guarantee, you know, at that 15 days, you know, I'm going to do something with that money. Okay, that money's going to go back into my business, and you know, there's got to be a certain time that you want to be able to, you know, kind of. But I don't have a problem with returns. It's just the fact that, I don't know, it just kind of makes you feel like you're on the losing end of something that you have no control over.
But Chad, I don't, unless you got a really bad rep, every time I've called in where I've had a problem with the return and I state the facts, they're like, they look into it and they're like, okay, you're good, Jay.
Yeah, well, with this particular thing, it's kind of crazy because I think I showed some people the message. I appealed it, and I said, because he sent it back with parts missing and everything else, and they had said that they cannot, on an item that is described as, they will not. Am I frozen again?
Yeah.
Starting to freeze up a little bit. Now you're good. Go ahead.
Yeah, they said that on a return like that they're claiming it's broke, then they won't like back you up that what you get back was the original item. I'm like, what?
Here, look, here's an example kind of like that, and this is not a political statement, just happened to be something I sold. Customer got a shirt for me, and he said the image is fuzzy, and I'm looking at my pictures and my memory. I'm like, man, that image was not fuzzy on the shirt. And he goes, it's fuzzy, and I go, well, that's fine, send it back. Here's the shirt I got back. And guess what? That image is fuzzy, but also guess what? I sold a blue shirt. He sent me back a red shirt. And so when I called eBay, and I even wrote him, I said, hey, you sent me back a red shirt. I sold you a blue shirt. Oh, sorry. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. Hey, eBay, he sent me a red shirt. I sold him a blue shirt. Okay, Jay, we'll give you your money back. It was easy.
Yeah. I mean, I think
that's kind of the key to missing parts.
If he got that shirt and said that there was a big rip in it.
Well, he wanted to return it because the graphic was not clear. Same kind of deal, but he picked the wrong seller. Yes, he bought more than one. That was his statement he wanted to make to the world. He bought more than one, and I sold him a good one, and he sent me back a crappy one. Oh, well. Yeah. I called. They took care of it.
So basically the moral of the story is don't be afraid to get on the phone and call eBay. Don't just use their little messaging. Don't use their emails. Get on the phone and call them. Every time I've ever called eBay, I don't even sit on hold. I'm literally like, they give you that little code, and I'm on the phone with a rep within 2 minutes, and they're usually pretty helpful. But like we were talking about earlier, if you call them and you're like, blah, 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 this is crap, that's probably not going to get the same reaction than, hi, this is the transaction ID number, this is the feedback that the customer left, this is the comment that they sent me, this is what I sold them, and this is what they sent me back. You know, I mean, if you let stuff go, then of course it's going to go. But if you get on the phone and call them, a lot of times they'll work with you.
But you know, I saw somebody saying in the chat, why do they give the option to have no return, 7 days, 30, etc.? Why not just have one single policy? Well, that's what's changing. The new return flow will be almost like Amazon's. I bought headphones last week on Amazon. When I got them, I got the wrong headphones. It was my mistake. I ordered the wrong thing. So I clicked return. They gave me the label to spit out. Of course, they charged me for the shipping, which was fine. It was my mistake, and that's what I chose. I slapped it on, and the second that UPS scanned it in, the acceptance scan is in effect again, I got my refund already. Now, I might be sending a brick back, and of course, if they get a brick back, they're going to take that money away again. But the fact that I'm sending the right thing, I've already got my money back. I've already been made whole, and it was my mistake. Right. So the new returns flow, it's going to have like 11 reasons, and majority of them are didn't fit, didn't like. It lets the customer choose, and will there be nefarious customers who try and game it? Of course, that's life. Every time there's anything in life, Somebody's trying to game the system. So
Sure.
you just got to go into anything in life knowing that. But for the most part, it's got this nice flow. 30 days. It should make it easier. You know, right now it's too hard to do a return because everyone has, like, you know, different thoughts and policies. They are trying to make it one. And since this is a new return hub, I'm sure there'll be kinks that need to be worked out, but I'm excited to see it change for the better and for the better of the customers to make it easier.
Now, what kind of stuff can we expect from the new hub? Have you seen like a demonstration or anything of how it works? Is there any
The
way
seller
to
hub
test
is insane. For those of you who like numbers and figures and stats and want to geek out on it, you're going to have them for days. So eBay realized they were sitting on this mountain of data that they could give to the sellers, and data that'll help you be a better seller. And, you know, one of the coolest things is it's going to look at the stuff that you've had in your store for far too long, and it'll be like, hey, Jay, you know, this Marvin the Martian pencil case has been in your store for far too long, and based on how you have it listed, the chances of it selling, and it'll give you a percentage. It'll be like 2%.
Yeah.
But if you use these better keywords or you have these better parameters, your chances will go up exponentially. So it'll say, all right, for those other sellers selling this pencil case, pencil holder, they use Warner Brothers and Looney Tunes. And they're going to tell you the keywords that you need to use to get a better chance of selling your item. And it's going to show you graphs. It's kind of like Terapeak. It's going to show you when that item's sold. Like, ooh, look, Tuesdays, 8 p.m., that's a good day to sell that item. That's when they tend to sell a lot. So you could geek out to the point of you get nothing done. You're just looking at data forever. So, you know, try and find that happy medium. Don't use it forever, but it's awesome. And you know, and then here's the other thing about the Seller Hub. It will let you geek out and look at all these data. But I was with John Lawson. For those of you know who John is, John's Colder Ice. He's been around the block selling online forever. He's like, look, my mother sells on eBay. I think she's 82. She doesn't want all that. And that's fine. You can just do the regular seller page, regular sell my stuff. You don't have to get deep into this because numbers and data do scare off some people. I highly recommend you use it to your benefit to be a better seller, but you don't have to.
Right. Yeah, that's the kind of data that I love. You know, like I don't know if you get those emails where it's like this your item has ended. If you list it for this much, then you have a better chance of selling it. And they've tried to give you a little bit of information, but yeah, I mean, I use the keyword generators and, you know, stuff like that. I mean, I do a lot of the try and do as much data or get as much data as I can, you know, when I'm listing everything, you know, when I'm pricing stuff out. I mean, I don't know, but it'll be nice to have it at my fingertips instead of having to use a bunch of different apps and stuff like that to do it all. And it'd be really nice if eBay would just suggest some of that stuff. So glad that's coming in. Now, is this going to be something that starts in February, or are they going to start releasing like versions of the Seller Hub for people?
So the Seller Hub actually will be out by end of October. They had a sign up, so if you want to run some tests, we signed up last week, and they're picking from those. But then by October, I don't know the exact date, but I know it's towards the end of October. Seller Hub will be available for one and all, and you know, the look of it, the feel of it, the look of like Seller Manager right now is very early 2000s to me. And the look and the feel of the new hub is very much right now what's happening, 2015. You got all your tabs across the top, overview, orders, listings, marketing, performance, and growth. And then the main page is showing you how many labels you got to print, how many unanswered questions you got. But it's, you know, the way the Seller Manager looks now, it's you got to click on a lot of stuff to see all the things you need. This is all like putting it on Front Street. Here it is, and here's the stuff you need to do.
Right.
Are they going to give us more control as a seller with the eBay app? Like, you can't even, like, I want to be able to go in and do a sale on my store, you know, through my phone. You know what I'm saying? You can't do anything on your phone except for buy or list.
That is, I don't, you know, we didn't talk about that. They did show us that up until a week ago, if you went on a tablet and then you moved over to your iPhone, and then you moved over to your secret Android phone for your girlfriend, and then you moved over to the computer, eBay looked different on all 4 of those devices. And when they refreshed the app a week ago, whether you log into any of those devices, the eBay is going to look very uniform. So that is step 1 in kind of fixing some of the problems. Everything's very uniform looking now, so you can roll from device to device and all have that same feeling. But I think you're right. I don't think that is part of the app, but that's a good thing. You know, everything is becoming more app generated. The figure now is 58%, I think, purchases are done on the app, or I mean, I'm sorry, on mobile, not the app. On mobile, well, I guess it would be the app. And I think the number is hugely high. It's like 87% or 82% of every transaction on eBay are touched by mobile. So what they mean is that item might have been researched on mobile, or listed on mobile, or sold on mobile, or bought on mobile. So it's up to like 87%. So they have to realize and keep building what you can do on mobile.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and I'm with Chad, I'm still with you on that point. I think our mobile should be able to control our whole, because some people don't even have computers.
Yeah.
Great.
I mean, you can do just about everything except print out shipping labels and you can even do shipping labels from your phone as long as you use the browser. You can't do it on the app, obviously, but I mean, that's you.
Hold on, yeah, you can.
Can you print shipping through the app?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It also depends on how modern your phone is. Before we say yeah.
Well, yeah,
if you're my father with a flip phone with a little tiny keyboard, no, you can't. And yes, the sun has come up. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, Jason's getting brighter."
The sun is coming over the mountain.
Yeah,
Jason, there's a question about the hub.
Yeah.
The question is, so the seller hub will be available for those without a store as well?
Yes, the hub is for everyone. And my first thought was, hey, man, what about my store fees? Like, what's that paying for? And they kind of addressed it. There's nothing exactly in place yet, but Jordan Sweeten is one of the new execs, and he said we need to give the store owners more for their money. So there's nothing exactly coming. There's nothing coming in with this release, but because they wanted the seller hub for everyone to be a better seller, which I fully understand and I'm cool with, they do want to give us more for those of us who pay for a store, more than just like, here's your store. They want to get deep into it and make the fact that you have a store that much more amazing. So I know that's coming too.
Awesome. That's what we like to hear. Now, I mean, there's plenty of reasons to have a store. I mean, it's not just the reduced fees on different listings, like insertion fees or whatever, or more free listings or any of that. I mean, that's the first metric to look at. I mean, if you're listing 100 items a month, then you definitely you should have a store. You know, I mean, it's just a no-brainer because it saves. Just that $15 a month is saved by the extra listings that you get. But I mean, aside from that,
look, being able to use Markdown Manager, and if you don't have an assistant like me to have vacation settings, that's the best. I mean, that's so worth it right there.
Exactly. So I mean, there are definitely reasons to have it, but it would be nice. I mean, obviously, you always want to get more for your money.
Oh, of course. And they realize that. They realize the core eBay sellers who've been on the platform a long time, who have had a store, they want to make sure that we're content too. So, it's a new regime. I met a lot of new executives, people in the role like 4 months, 6 months, but, it's that young blood, new people coming over like, we want to change the world kind of stuff. I'm like, cool. I didn't think it was fully broken before, but I things needed to be fixed and overhauled, and I'm excited that they're excited. And that was part of the event. So let's talk about the event for a second. We're talking about the actual changes, and they're all cool. But, man, when they throw a party, they throw a party. And I was talking to a couple execs, and I'm like, I think when they stopped doing like eBay Lives and eBay on Locations, I think the person who made that decision missed the what happens. Like, people get excited in the room, and they don't realize that when those people leave, that excitement goes out. So I'm on your show telling the 71 people watching how awesome it was, and then they're going to tell 2 friends, and they're going to tell 2 friends, and and that's how it goes. But they thought it was just the people in the room. They're like, yay, and then that was only a couple thousand people. But and especially now with social media, You know, this is show 4 for the week for me. I got something on Sunday, another thing on Monday, and another thing on Tuesday. So, you know, I put it out to the world that I want to share it because I came out of that event so jazzed that I'm like, I want to tell everyone. And they brought me in as one of the 15 eBay influencers. They were looking for big sellers on the platform, and they don't mean big in stature. They mean, you know, been around a long time, have an online presence, have a following, and put out accurate information. That's the key. They only wanted people as their influencers who, when they're putting out information, they're not just making up crap. And I never do. I've always been very much, here's how it is. And so I was excited and honored to be asked to do it, but I could not wait. And this was kind of what they wanted us to do. They wanted us to get on shows and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. But I'm excited. My show, which is normally on Thursday nights, it has to be on Tuesday next week. And one of my friends and the admin of my group, she's been an eBay seller for a long time. She hated eBay in the last year. She felt she got too many defects for no reasons. And she came out, she drank the Kool-Aid. She came out of that event, and she's like, I love eBay. So, you know, they did it right. And the party itself was amazing. If you've not been to an eBay event and you're a seller and they have another event coming up, go. It was a day of keynote addresses from the top down. So Devin Wenig, the CEO, started it. They had a surprise guest of Pierre Omidyar, who started eBay, come out. I mean, it was so crazy to see Pierre live and in person. And when all that was done, they took us down a clap tunnel. So there was this, you know, 100-yard tunnel of eBay employees, 2-3 deep, clapping for us, and then leading us into the ballroom where the party was after the event. And there was painters and contortionists and major recording stars and like 20 bars, and it was amazing. It was, you know, it was the craziest, awesomest party. And so we've got all this good information that we were all excited about. And then they're like, all right, let's party, throw our hats in the air and have a good time. And I couldn't wait to share that. And some people are pissing and moaning, oh, is that what my fees are paying for? Yes, that's how companies work. They throw events, they get excited. When I buy Apple products, that's how they book those big auditoriums and broadcast all over the world about their new Apple iPhone. That's how it works, people. It's not your local mom and pop shop, you know, or your antique mall where you've set up a booth and your fees are paying for the owner's new car. It's not that way. But it worked. Here, we were talking today about it, you know, and if you can get to an event, get to it. Oh, and here's the thing. The cost wasn't anything. I think it was $95 for 2 days, and guess what you got in your gift bag? A $100 eBay gift card. You made $5 by walking in. Yes. You made. Plus, then they gave you food and drink and a party and a concert. It was awesome.
Nice. Yeah, I'm. You know, now that I've been doing the show and I'm, you know, got some subscribers and stuff, I've been paying more attention to the conferences and everything, and like all these, there's a lot of them. They're popping up all over the place, it seems like. So I want to start kind of checking some of them out, but I definitely want to go to an eBay event. Do you know if there's anything coming up anytime soon that they have planned, or is it just like a once-a-year thing that they? I know the 20-year was a pretty big deal for them.
Yeah, and I don't know what the next thing is, but I was talking to a couple people. I'm like, you should do a 21-year. Hey, eBay's legal kind of thing, you know? That could be fun. But, you know, it's not just, like you were just saying, it's not just the eBay events. Any events. Like, you know, I speak at a lot of conferences. I'm doing an online one this Sunday, and it's about the networking. So, yes, you get content, you learn stuff, you get stuff, the party's fun, it gets you pumped up. But it's about the interpersonal interactions that you make with people. Like I knew a couple execs in passing, but I actually got to sit down with them, and that's the other cool thing. eBay puts everybody right there. You can talk to them, you can touch them, they'll listen to your issues, they'll respond to you. It's amazing. But you know, you make friendships and deals, and you know, my boy Chris Green said the better stuff happens in the hallway. So what's happening in the room's great, but it's in the hallway when you meet people, and I mean, you might end up being a business partner or a new thrifting buddy or just a new buddy, but it's those are the connections that that will help you in your business in the long run. It's not just what happens in the room, it's what happens outside the room at the dinners afterwards, and that was true to this event too. You know, it was great. I met some eBay employees who want to do things with me and my group, and I look forward to those coming to fruition.
Right, and it's not all, and it's great going to the live events, but this online thing going on this Sunday night, is it Sam Cohen's running it, right?
Oh.
No, Sam's part of it. It's called, oh my gosh, it's called...
$1 million idea, isn't it?
Thank you. It's too early for me.
Yeah, so, I mean, I know from personal experience just doing these hangouts. I mean, the way that this show started is we were just getting up every morning and working. Somebody started posting these hangout links, and we'd come in and we'd talk, and I started like learning a bunch of stuff, and I started doing FBA Amazon because of this hangout, And then once we started doing, like, they started walking me through a lot of stuff, and we started sharing a bunch of information, and one day I was like, you know what, let's just go live with this and do it for a couple hours every day. And at first it was 2 hours every day, 5 days a week, but you're right, I mean, even with this stuff, the stuff that happens in the hallway, when this show goes off air, I post a little link to the hangout, so the first few people that can get into it. That's where we start talking about the real stuff, the secrets get talked about. But.
My first event was Philadelphia Live, and I met this big guy with a Hawaiian shirt on. And I said, "What do you sell?" And he said, "I sell women's clothing." And him and his partner at the time were speaking, and he said, "Come check it out." And I went and checked it out. And some of you know that I show my tractor trailer full of boxes, full of thrifted items. And it was because of his talking there that I got to know him and followed his threads and got into the thrifting part of it. It is the networking. If you can get to an event, go. You get the network. Forget who's speaking. That doesn't really matter. It's the networking outside that does the most.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I mean, these events are getting bigger and bigger too. So I mean, we're not talking. It's not like a thing where 20 people show up. I mean, most of these events, you've got hundreds, maybe some of them thousands of people that are going.
Yeah. So the event is $1 Million Ideas webinar. So basically, my boy Mendy took what we do live and in person and is trying to replicate it online because not everyone can travel. Some, family situations, health situations, money situations, but everyone can log in online. And so he's bringing this great speaker lineup. So it's Sam Cohen, and it's me, and Chris Green, and tons of others. And we're going to try and replicate the hallway part of it. So we're going to give our speech, we're going to give our 40, 45 minutes, and then we're going to walk into the hallway into a separate room. And so those of you who want to come chat, and we'll talk about thrifting outside of my time frame, that's what we're going to do. So it's this Sunday, and it's the first one, and I'm excited to be part of it, and I think it's going to be cool and also you could have worldwide attendance without having to leave the comfort of your office.
Right. Sounds awesome. I mean, it sounds like a fun thing. I'm going to definitely be checking that out, but I know there's something coming up in Chicago too on the end of October. You're going to be at that one?
Yep. I am the keynote speaker at the Ecom Chicago event. So,
nice.
And Chris Green and John Lawson, they're usually the keynote. I'm like, oh crap, I got to really bring it now if they want me to be the keynote. And then I'm doing a little extra something. My mom and dad are 73. They're retired, and they are killing it on eBay right now. And my mom can rock her iPhone and her iPad, and I'm like, so when I see them doing it, and I see people way younger, I don't get this, I can't do that. I'm like, look. My mom, I grew up on a dirt road, and my mom used to ride a horse to her friend's house, okay? We're not redneck country, but we're country. And if my mom and dad can do it, anyone can do it. So we're going to do a little segment with my mom. I'm going to call it, So, You Can't Teach an Old Dog New Tricks.
Nice. Yeah, I think I want to go to the Chicago Ecom. It sounds like
that'll be a good event. It'll be a great time. And I'm going to answer a question in the chat. We got so excited about the changes we never asked about what they're doing about non-paying bidders. And I, too, feel that pain. I think they need to fix something. It was not talked about. It's not going to be in this update. But know this, that when I chat with my new executive friends that I do know now, I will bring that up when I can and say, hey, we got to fix this because that's one of the main complaints. So nothing this time.
I definitely feel those. I get it as well. You know, especially it seems like with higher dollar stuff, it's very frustrating how often that happens. You know, like if I'm selling brand new in the box PlayStation 4s or something, it's like it'll end up going to some country that eBay doesn't even track to. So for some reason they don't have to pay right away because I have to like approve it or something. You know, so one of the ways that I mitigate that is I just do global shipping on all of my items, and that's the only way that I'll ship internationally. And that stopped some of that. And then also, I don't do auctions. I think that's probably where you get most of those non-paying bidders, right? Is just doing auctions, because if you win,
I don't do any auctions, and I'm always lately I've had one or two like, and then I got to remember to go back and relist them, and yeah, it is a pain in the ass. So of all the things that, you know, I tend not to agree with people when they complain about dumb stuff. I am with anyone who complains about this 100%. I am with you. I will fight to get that fixed.
Can I ask a question, Jason?
Yeah.
If you don't do auctions, how come you don't have immediate payment required?
Best offer.
Best offer. That's
yeah,
best offer. Yeah.
And sometimes, and here's the deal. Sometimes I'll switch. Like I'll run some auctions, and now that the store owners have the 100 collectible auctions, I've been using those. And so when you go to switch it out real quick, if you have immediate payment click, then you got to go fix that. It's the system. That part of the system is set up for. It's a pain in my ass. So I'd rather just not, and that way I can move things around. Okay, it's not selling in my store. Let's try it at auction. Let's throw it back to the store. You know. So I tried immediate payment, but I found I had wasted too much time when I'm having to flip things back and forth.
Right. So we've got a few minutes left. Is there anything that we didn't cover about the new seller update that's coming up? I mean, I feel like most of the concerns that people are going to have about that have been addressed.
Yeah, this is a quick one. I know they're going through their changes and stuff, and I know there's been some questions about, like, I got a positive feedback, but if you need to keep track of your defect summary, because I got a positive feedback, and then I got a defect for a low detailed a 1, 2, or 3 when it comes to item description, and I messaged the buyer, and I said, man, you know, was everything okay? You gave me a positive feedback, but it shows that you dinged me on. He goes, I've never left a low rating DSR for anybody. I don't know why it would show up as that. Now,
Chad, why are you wasting your breath? These don't even count in February anymore, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is, what's going on? Are they making these changes? And also, this is a big
two defects. Did you ship the product you said you were going to ship, and did you ship it on time? That's it.
Right. Now, okay, is eBay going to be very lenient with people, okay, who are, say, from now until February, say they're having issues, because they're changing this because they realize there's issues, okay? So they're making this change. Are they going to be lenient with people until then if they're having issues? I mean, if they're having issues, it's on their own probably if they're that close to being.
Well, yeah, I don't think they'll be any more or less lenient than they are now. And the one thing I don't know, and I probably should ask someone, okay, February 20th, what happens? Is it just like everyone's new? I don't know, because it's such a change. How are they? If you were in trouble yesterday, are you okay today?
Yeah.
Because I don't want bad sellers to also get a fresh slate.
Right.
If you need help, that's one thing. If you're just a crummy seller, I don't want you around. Oh, and here's the other thing. Negatives and neutrals, although you can still get them, they don't count as defects anymore, so that's awesome.
Here's what it is it's 6 months from now, and they're going to go back in time 6 months like they did on the last update.
It's going to be tricky, though, I think. That's one part we didn't really hear is, yeah, how do you justify it? So you had this counting system, and this one's way different. So, I'm sure, and I am sure there will be some people at that day are going to be like, wait, what happened? With any major change in anything, there's always somebody who like, oh, iOS 9, I hate it. But guess what? It's the platform now, so you got to figure it out.
Yep.
And like somebody said, whether it affects me or not, that defect, even though, I mean, I know it's nothing to worry about, as of right now, it bothers me, and I want it fixed.
Yeah.
You can tell.
I can tell. You know what should bother you is your shitty connection. That should really bother you.
I guarantee, pound for pound, my connection is probably better than everybody's here. It's business grade. It's just something's wrong. I don't know what's wrong.
It's the loose nut behind the wheel.
I don't care. I don't care. Look, dude, I don't care if it's NASA grade. You got something wrong there.
No, it's your internet connection. I keep telling everybody that. It's all you. It's not me.
My internet connection is obviously pretty good. I mean, just look at this. It's nice and clear, no choppy nothing. I mean, this is how you should be if you got business class. I'm just saying.
This is a family show, or I would just tear into you right now.
Let's rumble, big boy. Let's rumble.
Hey, Jason, they asked earlier in the show, very early in the show, they asked, do you sell on Amazon?
Yeah. I've done a little FBA. I'm mainly merchant fulfilled. I have about 800 CDs on Amazon right now. I am going to do a little more FBA. And when I say a little more, I haven't done any in like 2 years, so I'm going to do some. But I've always used Amazon, and I'm all for not putting all your eggs in one basket. I have a booth in Antique Mall. I do Craigslist a little bit. I'm trying to get into Etsy. I bought a couple things yesterday that are so Etsy products. I want to get them up on Etsy and get more of a presence and sales out of my Etsy platform.
Yeah, Etsy's something that I've been meaning to try, and I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Too much on my plate. But I mean, Amazon's been really, really good for me. I'm probably never going to stop doing eBay because I mean, that's the selling part that I love. I like the way that you can do it on eBay. It feels like you're selling a product directly to somebody. Like, this is my product. Amazon's a little bit less personal. And I mean, it's still good for the money, but I mean, if I ever get to the point where I don't have to do this anymore for whatever reason, because I'm financially, this isn't like something that I need to do, I'll still do eBay, just because I love that, the thrill of the hunt, the finds, when you find something that's just like, that's cool. But
yeah, here's my fun find from last night. Siamese cat.
Nice. Is that cross stitch?
No, it's needlepoint.
Oh, okay.
But it's got a great frame, and it was $5. So somebody will like that. And it's really good too. That's what caught my eye. I'm like, that was good work.
Yeah, I found a really, really cool needlepoint picture the other night, but they wanted like $25 for it, so I didn't get it. But it was like an ocean scene kind of, but I mean, it was really, really good. I just don't know enough about that stuff to feel comfortable spending $25 on it. I know you can make some pretty good money on that kind of thing, but
yeah, for $5, I felt I know enough to know that some Siamese cat lover will love it, but $5 was not much of a gamble.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the other nice thing about eBay. You can sell just about anything as long as you take good pictures, use the right keywords, and don't pay very much for it.
Yeah.
But
so speaking of selling women's clothes, I sold a purse last night for $104 that I paid $5 for.
Nice. Yeah, I've got one purse listed right now. I think I'm not usually into women's clothes. I like men's clothes because I can look at it and be like, I would wear that, And if I would wear it, then somebody would wear it.
That's where I started, but like with anything, I think in my stores, some things get picked over and or priced high because like everybody's buying Harley shirts, and so I started working in the purse section, then I started working in the bra section, and I'm like, I'll learn this, and I'm not looking for Coach, I'm not looking for Louis Vuitton because those are so faked, but I'm looking for, there are a lot of quality brands that are so small though that nobody's faking them because they're not widely known enough, and so I bought. Isabella Fiore does these awesome purses with a bunch of bling on them. Picked it up for $5 at a ghetto Salvation Army in Philly. And sold it for $104 last night. So I'll rock. I sold 3 purses yesterday.
Nice. All right. So before we go, it's about that time. Does anybody have any shout-outs? Anything anybody wants to mention before we go off the air here?
I want to shout out to Chad's technician who's going to come over today and fix his internet connection.
Guess what? Hold on. That awesome tiki mug shot game is probably going to get broken on the way to your house.
If you pack as well as your internet connection is, yeah, I would see that.
Now, I would like to give a quick little shout out. There's a young entrepreneur out there
Thank
named
you,
the
Chad.
Yard
You're
Sale
so
Hunter. Huh?
Thank you, Chad. You're so nice. Oh, you're not talking about me?
Oh, no, he's the Yard Sale Hunter, and he's just a pleasure to watch, man. If you guys haven't seen him, just go click his channel. I don't know, these younger kids doing this. I mean, it's like, man, I wish I started then. I mean, we all kind of did, but I mean, they're like starting to get in the game. I mean, going to the Goodwills and doing stuff like that, and it's just really neat to see them come up like that. I don't know. I just enjoy seeing that.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, and there are some young guys out there, like, and we're talking like 16, 17. We're talking like 12 that are getting into this game. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're going to be able to basically they'll be in a pretty good spot by the time they get old enough. I mean, just knowing how to run your own business and everything, having all that figured out probably by the time they graduate, they'll be, yeah, it's I don't know why more people don't get into this stuff because I mean, once you get it figured out, then it's good, it's viable, very good money. But anyway, we do have to wrap this up. I got to get out of here. But Jason, are you gonna stick around for a little bit just in case anybody wants to come into the chat and hang out?
Yeah.
Or
I got a dentist appointment at 8 a.m., which is only a minute away, so
okay,
I can hang out for a bit. Absolutely.
Cool. I'll give you a link so you can post it up over in the thrifting board if you want to. I'm going to be getting out of here, but go check out the Reseller Wake Up on Facebook as well. That's my Facebook group. Post bolos and just questions, concerns, all that stuff. And if you have any topics, ideas for the show, any suggestions, whatever, you can either post in the comment section below the video here once we go off the air, or you can go post them up in the Reseller Wake Up. Also, Resale Ronin on Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, all that stuff. But we're going to be back on Monday, but yeah, Sunday night, go check out, if you're around, go check out the $1 Million Idea. Jason will be there along with a bunch of other really high-level sellers, and should be a good time. But thanks once again, everybody, for watching. Thanks for coming on, everybody, and Jason, I hope to see you again soon. Anytime you want to come on, man, just say the word. Shoot you a link.
Thanks for having me.
All right, but we'll see y'all Monday morning. Bitcoin.